Good morning, this is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. PsychicTarot.ca, book your tarot reading and unlock your spiritual journey. And the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning, my friends. It's going to be a solo show today. I got a message from Mr. Beaver saying that he is going to sleep in because he was up quite late. As I understand, he got to bed around 4 a.m. or maybe 5 by the looks of things, according to the email. Yeah, about 5 a.m. So he's going to sleep in this morning. He may do something this afternoon. I'm not sure, but I wanted to hop on this morning for a little bit to have a discussion with you. So good morning. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. I hope that you slept well. I didn't sleep well at all, but that has more to do with allergies than anything else. So, that just happens to happen sometimes. Oh, that's a good cup of coffee. So let's thank the sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and PsychicTarot.ca, I think it is now, if I stand corrected. They've been with us since the very beginning, and we appreciate them. And thank them for all they do for us. And we are, of course, looking for additional sponsors. So if you know anybody who's looking to get their message out to a large audience, as our audience is growing, thankfully, and we can reach more people this way. Well, what do you think about the election results? I'm looking at some of the numbers here, and what's interesting is 2025 versus 2021, the Liberal Party actually picked up a few seats, and so did, what's going on here with this thing? I just have an application in the background. I was trying to show you some stuff, and there we go. Now it's working. The Liberal Party picked up 8 seats versus the last election, and the Conservative Party have picked up about 20 versus the previous election. The Bloc, it looks like they've lost about 9. NDP have lost a lot, losing official party status because they only won 7 seats in total versus 25 in the previous. Is 26 seats gained according to this report for the Conservatives. I think it's actually 25 if the numbers are correct. Yeah, it's 25. There was one questionable thing on the chart I was looking at, but I can show you this, share it with you quickly. And we will have a look at the wins versus losses. This is from the Pembroke Observer, actually. Yeah, so thank you to Pembroke Observer. This is not 100% accurate. It's actually 8 seats, and this was 25 seats is the difference, is the final total. 9 seats lost for the BQ, 18 NDP, and the Green lost 1 seat. Elizabeth May getting reelected again. And we could shuffle down here and look at the 2021 versus 2025 numbers in BC. Liberal Party gained 4 seats. In Alberta, same thing. The Conservatives gained 4 seats, though, because there's new ridings in Alberta now that did not exist in the last election because the population growth and distribution thereof. Saskatchewan actually did get a single Liberal seat, which was a bit of a surprise, which was Conservative, that seat in the last election. Manitoba picked up 2 Liberal seats. Conservatives remain the same. The NDP lost 2. So I think in this election, what really happened, what is not really up for debate, was that in many cases, NDP voters switched, because you can see here, 2021 Ontario was 78 Liberal seats versus 69 in this election. The Conservatives picked up quite a bit, from 37 to 53. The NDP got 0 seats. So it looks like the folks who had voted NDP in the last election in the province of Ontario voted for the Liberal Party in this one. Quebec, big difference. Liberal Party picked up a total of 8 seats. The Conservatives picked up 1. NDP have their single seat that they hung on to. The Bloc, well, they lost big time. Newfoundland, 5 Liberal, 2 Conservative versus 6-1 in the previous election. Nova Scotia, 10 Liberal versus 8 in the last election, and the Conservatives 3 versus 1. New Brunswick is unchanged, 6-4 both elections. PEI is 4-4 both elections. If we go up to here to Yukon, same thing as the last result, a Liberal. Northwest Territories, same thing as the last result. And Nunavut voted NDP, same thing as the last result in the previous election. So we're seeing some changes. Now, it's a minority government, not a majority. I'm here, like, there's some shocking things that took place in many cases, and see if I can dig them up for you here. I had some stats on it. And I just killed it by accident. I hit the X and closed the tab when I didn't mean to. So I apologize. I'll just go back into the history and pull it up here. It looks to me like, well, as many of you may already know, where did it go? Oh, there we go. As many of you may already know, Pierre Poilievre lost his seat. He is staying on as Conservative Party leader, but he lost his seat, which, comes as a bit of a surprise. What is going on with this thing? Every time I try and reload this one page, it goes haywire. There we go. Okay. So, 7 gains. I'm looking to see. The Rhinoceros Party is still a thing. Did you know that? I can't see it. I have not been able to find out who won what when it comes to ridings. I do know that there are a few people who did lose their seats, though. Along with Pierre Poilievre, Michelle Ferrari and Peterborough also was defeated soundly, which is something I know a lot of people in that part of Ontario are very rejoiceful for. As she's pretty caustic and toxic and not exactly the nicest person. Incapable of telling the truth, it seems. But I did catch that video on Cover the News. Thank you very much, Jamil Jivani, and I will bring that up in just a second here. Went on a bit of a rant about Doug Ford last night because, well, he wasn't real happy about Doug Ford's non-support or non-response, I guess you could say. I'll just bring it right up to the part where Jivani steps into the scene, and we'll have a listen to what he has to say here. He kind of went hard after Doug Ford. And, well, let's just say the federal Conservatives fighting with the progressive Conservatives provincially in Ontario is actually kind of a good thing, you see, because they're fundamentally different parties. They really are. Let's have a look.
By-election following his resignation. It was Jamil Jivani who won that, and Jamil Jivani winning again tonight. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we have a great team here in Bowmanville, Oshawa North. Very excited and happy to bring home a victory.
I do want to ask you, Mr. Jivani, because you've just spoken to your supporters, a large group that's here at the pub here in Bowmanville, North Oshawa, and you said to them, among other things, that Doug Ford was a problem for you in this campaign. You said that he sabotaged the Conservative campaign. That's your words. You said he was a hype man for the Liberals. Take me through how you see that.
Yeah, well, look, Doug Ford just went through an election. I have differences of opinion with him. I don't like how he's managed healthcare or education. But Out of respect, we didn't say anything. Federal party, we didn't get in his way. When it was our turn to run an election, he couldn't stay out of our business, always getting his criticisms and all his opinions out, distracting our campaign, trying to make it about him, trying to position himself as some kind of political genius that we needed to be taking cues from.
Was it him specifically? Was it his campaign manager, Corey, tonight? Do you see Doug Ford as a problem for the federal party in the outcome of this race?
I see Doug Ford as a problem for Ontario and for Canada. I think he's not doing a great job in running this province, and now he's trying to exercise his influence over other levels of government, and it's not like this guy is doing anything particularly well. I mean,
you did used to work for him.
I did. I'm speaking from experience. I tried to fix problems in this province, and he kept getting in his way and all his goons around him all the time. They wouldn't make anything better, and now we're seeing him because this guy's a political genius because he beat Bonnie Crombie and Stephen Del Duca, and now we got to sit around getting advice from him? No. He has taken the provincial Conservative Party and turned it into something hollow, unprincipled, something that doesn't solve problems. He's glad-handing with Chrystia Freeland, having coffees and lattes with Mark Carney, and
Okay. I've had enough of that. He goes on for a little while longer. I don't need to hear any more from him. He can be as caustic and toxic towards Doug Ford as he wants. I don't care. I have no love for Doug Ford. Everybody knows that. And he did state a few different things there that I completely agree with. I don't like the way Doug Ford has handled healthcare. I also don't like the way that party wants to handle healthcare in this country because they basically want to privatize it altogether. He's done nothing. Jamil Jivani has done nothing. He will do nothing. He's an ineffective member of parliament. Now, the stunning upset, I guess, in many respects, is Bruce Fanjoy winning with a 50% margin over Pierre Poilievre, who had a 46% margin, I think is what it was, in his riding. So, yeah, Pierre Poilievre, there it is, 51 to 46, 19 vote change, 19% change, I guess it is, and a 6% drop. So Pierre Poilievre, 46% of the vote, and 51% for Bruce Fanjoy, and the rest of the vote was split between Greens and NDP is the final tally. I'm very happy for Bruce Fanjoy. I've met Bruce. He's a very nice man. He's worked tirelessly for the last, 2 years trying to get the message out about what is going on in that riding with that member of parliament who now has lost his seat. But no surprise to me whatsoever that Pierre Poilievre will stay on as opposition leader. And he said something in his speech, and I'll see if I can find it here. I watched it earlier. He said, we will oppose and propose new legislation, which is the job of the opposition party and the opposition leader. Except the thing is, all they have done is oppose. They have not proposed anything. And the idea is to oppose legislation or bills that they see unfit or not satisfactory and propose an alternative or, I don't know, a negotiation on how to change the bill to make it better for Canadians, except they've not done that. All they've done is vote no on everything for the last couple of years and never propose anything. They have slogans, but they don't have any policy. And it's as simple as that. Well, I don't think Ford has responded, but he wouldn't need to respond, Laurie Sue. He is a provincial premier. So, I mean, there's nothing for him to say, really. If there's no need for the media to go talk to him because he wasn't, like he already has his election. Think of him as like a governor of a state. He is the provincial premier, which means that, his say in this matter is got nothing to do with the federal Conservative Party. And in Nova Scotia, as a matter of fact, Tim Houston has said point blank, just ignore the federal Conservatives. We have nothing to do with them. We don't follow their policy. We don't follow their platforms. We are a separate party, which is true. Now, I've got issues with Tim Houston and some of the things he's said and done, but he is correct. The Progressive Conservative Party of Nova Scotia is not in lockstep with the Conservative Party of Canada. They are two different parties. So there you go. But it's a bit of a shocker that Pierre Poilievre did not retain his seat. See if I can find his speech. He says he's staying on as leader, which I fully expected. He won't go. He just won't leave. They'd have to drag him out kicking and screaming, much like Trump is. The millstone, I guess, around Pierre Poilievre's neck. This is cute. This is I don't know when this was tweeted out, but this is kind of symbolic. In the real world, if you don't do your job, you lose it. Pierre Poilievre tweeted that. I don't know when it was tweeted. It's just something that showed up in the feed. When that took place, I do not know. And I don't even know if it's authentic, but it could very well be, for that matter. There's some people who are really, really freaking out about it. Poilievre both losing his seat and the party not winning the election. Well, I mean, he only blew a 30-point lead in 2 months. Take that in for a minute, shall you? Please, I beg you to. That is absolutely historical. To blow a lead that big in that time frame. Turns out it wasn't the Liberal Party of Canada that was hated by the populace, and I say hated in air quotes for those listening. It had more to do with leader fatigue and all of the negative media churned up over the last few years via social media, amongst others, and right-wing. I don't even know if you want to call it conservative media. I'm not going to name any of the sites. You know who they are. You know who the usual players are. Stirring up garbage and lies and posting the lies and then retracting the lies. But once the damage is done, the damage is done, because a lot of people will never read the retraction. And those individuals who post those lies know that. They'll post a lie knowingly. They'll put it out. They'll get it around the world. And as the saying goes, a lie will make its way halfway around the world before the truth has its pants on. The truth doesn't matter to these folks. They'll come out and tell it later. A small, quiet press release. Oh, we were wrong about that. But it doesn't matter because the damage has already been done, and they know this, and they do it intentionally, which is why they basically destroyed Justin Trudeau. Now, Justin Trudeau was his own worst enemy in the fact that he and the Liberal Party did nothing to counter any of that mis and disinformation over the last several years. He had no choice but to step down, despite the fact that his party kept 92% of their promises and have fulfilled most of their mandate. Doesn't matter. When you have a hype machine screaming noise constantly into the void to tell you that he is bad, he is good. Take this guy over here. Vote for Pierre. Vote Pierre for PM, which is not a thing we have ever done in this country. We don't elect a prime minister. We elect a parliament. We elect members of parliament, and the leader of the party can then assume the position of prime minister. But they don't have to. They can defer to their deputy. They can defer to anybody they want, actually. Party leader does not have to assume the position of prime minister. I don't know that it's ever not happened, that they've not assumed, but there you go. We do not elect a prime minister. We never have and we never will. Our system does not work that way. We elect a parliament. 343 members of parliament, up 5 from the previous election because of the demographics and the population growth in different provinces. 1 second. But of course, Pierre Poilievre will not resign his seat, or resign, because he's a smarmy narcissist. Mad at me for saying that if you want. I really don't care. That's exactly who he is. I'm going to share a video here. It's 40 seconds of an individual who I hope goes and gets the help they so desperately need. And I mean this sincerely. This person, I'm going to show you this. They were at the Conservative Party headquarters last night celebrating until they weren't. And this diatribe is from an individual who has, well, they've need of psychological help. They've been brainwashed and sucked into the hype machine, and they're believing, I think, a lot of the things that they're saying along with the things that they've read. The video is cropped beyond belief. I don't know why. but I will share it with you. It is 47 seconds. Have a listen to what this man says, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. And let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. That's about as big as I can make it.
All right, we're going to kill this stream. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go book a plane ticket and figure out what I want to do with my future. I want to know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. Carney's going to have me thrown in prison. There's no way. There's no way. He's going to lock me up. They're going to freeze my bank accounts. They're going to make my life a living hell here. So it's unsafe for me to live in Canada now, unfortunately. Yes, this is the country we have. It is what it is. Either I move out, I move somewhere.
So that's the plebe reporter, I guess is what his handle is. And that's delusional. That's a delusional statement. It's a delusional statement. Look, if Mark Carney's going to lock me up and freeze my bank account, no, he's not. Unless you perform a treasonous act or threaten the life of the Prime Minister, it's not going to happen. If the Liberal Prime Minister, the current or the previous, technically two previous, wanted to lock you up for the things you've said, it would have happened a long time ago. But they haven't and they won't because they're not dictators. This individual, I think, is just trying to bring more spotlight onto himself. I think it's more of a grab at someone's heartstrings somewhere. But I do genuinely feel for this person. If they actually believe that, get some psychological help, dude. You need help. Everything you just said is just simply not true. Go out, find a good therapist, find a deprogrammer, and have a conversation. It's disturbing. There are a lot of people like that in this country right now who are believing every single conspiracy theory they've ever read. And that is troubling because it's conspiracy theories. So much of it is just absolute garbage and has no basis in reality. And that worries me that people seem to think that, the Prime Minister's going to arrest me and throw me in jail because he doesn't like what I have to say. Well, that's what a dictator would do, but we don't have a dictator. We have a democratically elected parliament. And as I said, both parties gain seats. So, And you're right, Jen. This is what Jen says here. I'm going to put this on the screen. She says they want to be victims so badly. And that's the absolute truth. And I agree with you as well, Laurie Sue. Hard to imagine that Carney is even aware of his existence. I agree. I don't think he knows who he is, and I don't think he cares. Like, why would he? The man has bigger fish to fry, one being the current trade war we are in with the United States of America and one Donald Trump. So, yeah. Strange times, strange days, strange people saying strange things. They're allowed to say them because we have freedom of expression in this country. You're allowed to say strange things. You're not allowed to say hateful things, though. If you target a specific demographic or group of people, you will be charged. And we'll see it happening as the rhetoric heats up, as I'm sure some people in this country will start to scream that, the fix was in, fake news, stop the steal, blah-de-de, blah-de-de, blah. Well, we've heard all of that before. And I'm sure we're probably going to hear it again. Yeah. What? Sorry, I'm just trying to address something here in my feed. There's all kinds of crazy things I see online right now, and trying to keep up with some of them. It's not that easy because there's just so many. Let's see if I can find, there's an interesting article here. I will show you something from the BBC. I've got some. It shows that because at one point in time, 168 seats would be enough for a majority, but because let's just go bigger here with that. But because of the additional ridings that were added in this election, you need 172 for the majority. So 168 seats for the Liberal, 144 for the Conservative, 23 for the Bloc, and 7 for the NDP. And we can scroll down here and see the change in vote share since 2021. Conservative Party's up by 7.7%, 10.9% for the Liberals. And it looks to me like if you look at the switch here from the Liberal of 10.9 and the NDP down by 11.6, I'm thinking a lot of NDP voters strategically voted for the Liberals in this election. I know a number of them who did and told me point blank they were going to do so because they knew that they couldn't form government and that they needed their vote to really count towards making a difference. And I believe those people. They felt that a strategic vote in this election was important for the future and the safety of this country. And I say the safety not only for trade, but for women, for the LGBTQ plus community, for people of color, for the Indigenous community. A lot of people were really afraid of what might happen if the Conservatives formed government. And I understand that. I get it. The nerves were there, and justifiably so. It was touch and go for a bit. But as of this morning, we do have current Prime Minister who has retained his position as Prime Minister, I guess. Retained his position as Prime Minister. He's still the Prime Minister. He steps down as Prime Minister for the election, but goes into caretaker mode. So theoretically, in actuality, he's still the Prime Minister on days when they hold the campaign and he has to do Prime Minister type things. But it's known as a caretaker government. But in this instance, the Liberal Party won, a slim majority. And it looks like we're going to have at least 5 years of Mark Carney. Let's see how that works. I mean, it's time to form cabinet and get to work on making repairs to the country. The trade agreements, more than anything else, is what we need to do, establishing new trade agreements with the EU, amongst others. I know that we're looking at trading oil with China now. And I don't know, I've heard a rumor, and I don't know that it's true, that because we sell so much oil to the U.S. at a deeply discounted price versus the recognized norm, I've been told that they're going to start to increase that price to bring it up to current market rates. I do not know if that is true as they negotiate selling oil to other parts of the world. Let's see what happens. Time will tell. Where we go from here, I don't know when it comes to trading that part of our commodities. If anybody does know, please share it with me because I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, we have a new day has dawned, and some people have changed positions. Some people have lost their jobs. Jagmeet Singh has stepped down as NDP leader, which I half expected. He did the honorable thing. He did not gain seats for his party. They lost, and I think, and like I said, a large part of that reasoning is because of the fact that a lot of folks voted Conservative this time because they were so afraid of the Conservative Party forming government with Pierre Poilievre at the helm of Prime Minister. And I get that. I truly understand and can empathize with those folks who thought, well, we just can't. It's not good. I'm going to see if I can find you Pierre Poilievre's speech. See if I can find his speech here from last night. Where are we? Come on. I had it here. Where did it go? Darn it. Oh, wait. I'll just click on the videos. There we go. Here we go. It's a few minutes, so I will share this with you. This is from just a YouTube. And I will put this up on the screen so you can watch it while it's on. I'm going to grab myself another cup of coffee and I'll be back in just a minute. But have a listen to what he had to say. Some of it was quite magnanimous, actually. I was surprised. And he did have a couple of things to say that I agreed with, but he hasn't done. Oppose and propose. They've not proposed anything.
Merci tout le monde. Chers Canadiens, merci. Merci, chers Canadiens. Je vous aime aussi. I love you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's with profound gratitude that I stand before you today at the moment of this historic election. Because only in Canada could the story that Anna and I bring to the stage be possible. Adopted son of school teachers and a Venezuelan refugee. Stand on this stage in front of our proud country, offering ourselves up to serve for the future. After millions of people have shown up and marked their X, spoken their voice, and exercised their democratic rights. We could not be more proud, we could not be more grateful for the opportunity the Canadians have given us. And speaking now of Anna, I want to take a moment to thank my incredible wife. She's been by my side. She's my rock. I love and cherish you and our little ones more than you'll ever know. And I could not have done any of this without you. Thank you so much. I love you. Now, my message to Canadians. The promise that was made to me and to all of you is that anybody from anywhere could achieve anything, that through hard work, you could get a great life, you could have a nice, affordable home on a safe street. My purpose in politics is and will continue to be to restore that promise. Thank you. To the candidates who ran under our banner as Conservatives, to the volunteers who knocked on the doors, made phone calls, put up lawn signs, rallied at our events, donated their hard-earned money to our cause, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. To the millions of people who voted for the Conservative Party and put their hopes and dreams in our vision, thank you. It will be an honor to continue to fight for you and to be a champion of your cause as we go forward. Ça serait un grand honneur de continuer de me battre pour vous, parce que j'ai un honneur d'être votre voix, c'est un honneur de me battre pour les valeurs conservatrices pour lesquelles vous avez voté, et surtout, ça va être un honneur de continuer d'avancer la promesse du Canada, que chacun ici au Canada qui travaille fort peut avoir une belle vie et une belle maison abordable dans une communauté sécuritaire. C'est ça notre vision et on va le ramener chez nous. Merci beaucoup. To my fellow Conservatives, we have much to celebrate tonight. We've gained well over 20 seats. We got the highest share of vote. Our party has received since 1988. We denied the NDP and Liberals enough seats to form a coalition government, meaning...
Okay, hold on. Is he trying to go back to the confidence supply agreement being a coalition government? Is that what he's trying to do here? Because I think that's the case. No, just no. There was no coalition government then. It was a confidence and supply agreement which could be torn up at any time, and was. So he's trying to rewrite history here.
And we did all of this in a very difficult environment. That said, we are cognizant of the fact that we didn't quite get over the finish line yet. We know that change is needed, but change is hard to come by. It takes time. It takes work. And that's why we have to learn the lessons of tonight so that we can have an even better result the next time the Canadians decide the future for the country. Canadians have opted for a razor-thin minority government, a virtual tie in the vote count. So I would like to congratulate Prime Minister Carney on leading this minority government. We'll have plenty of opportunity to debate and disagree, but tonight we come together as Canadians. We will do our job. Yes, we will do our job to hold the government to account. But first, we congratulate people from all political backgrounds on participating in the democratic process. And as I said, while we will do our constitutional duty of holding government to account and proposing better alternatives, we will always put Canada first as we stare down tariffs and other irresponsible threats from President Trump. Conservatives will work with the Prime Minister and all parties with the common goal of defending Canada's interests and getting a new trade deal that puts these tariffs behind us while protecting our sovereignty and the Canadian people. I want to thank my Conservative team, my caucus, my members of the Conservative staff and others who've helped reshape the entire political landscape in this country. Conservatives have achieved major breakthroughs tonight. We brought in record support from blue-collar and unionized workers, youth, new Canadians. We gave voices to countless people across this country who've been left out and left behind for far too long. We won the big debates of our time on the carbon tax, on inflation, on housing, on the drug crisis, on crime. Conservatives have been leading the debate, and we will continue to put forward the best arguments to improve the lives of our people right across this country. But we will not stop there. Every single day, our Conservative caucus and I will be holding the government to account on behalf of the millions of Canadians who believed in the message of change. En tant que parti, on a grandement élargi notre soutien et chaque jour, le caucus conservateur et moi allons travailler à Ottawa pour rendre des comptes du gouvernement au nom des millions de Canadiens qui ont décidé de voter pour un vrai changement. J'ai eu l'honneur de parcourir le pays et parler aux milliers de personnes qui ont partagé leurs préoccupations, leurs peines, leurs espoirs. Everywhere I went, hard-working people took precious time out of their day to tell me about their struggles, their pain, their fears, but also their hopes and dreams. Welders and waitresses, farmers and factory workers, seniors, small business owners, and single mothers. Young Canadians.
I want to back up there for a second. Pay attention to something he just said.
Welders and waitresses.
Did you catch that? Welders and waitresses. I've been saying server for about 30 years now because it's not a gendered position, but he only believes in two genders, right? when we know there's a minimum of 3 sexes, male, female, and intersex, and there's variations upon the intersex thing, but I'm not going to get into that because I'm not smart enough to tell you about it because I haven't read enough to know what those differences thereof are. But did you notice that? Waitresses, not servers? A little misogynistic, don't you think? I remember a few years ago, a member of that party had said, stewardesses. And I pointed out, I said, that's not a it's not a term we use anymore. We say flight attendants because, again, it's a non-gendered job. I'll continue for a minute.
Farmers and factory workers, seniors, small business owners, and single mothers, young Canadians and young families pleading for the chance to own a home, parents who worried that their kids would never be able to move out of their home, grandparents who saw their grandchildren suffering from the
Parents worried that their children will never move out of their home. You know, there are many cultures in this country where you don't move out of the home until you get married. And in many cases, you still live with your family because it's a great way to save money. See, he has a vision of this country that really does not line up with the way the country is right now. But hey, I don't think you need me to tell you that.
Shortfalls of our economy, and countless others who are afraid to go outside because of the rising wave of crime. All of these stories touched my heart and gave me inspiration to work towards something better. These people continue to need voices, and I will continue to fight for them every day, and every day we will never give up on fighting for the Canadian people. Thank you. We hear your stories. We will carry those stories with us into Parliament. We will not forget the people for whom we work and for whom we fight every day. Now, I know that some of you might be disappointed that change did not get over the finish line tonight. Change takes time. Most of all, it requires that we never give up, because our people and our country are worth fighting for. Je vous ai entendu.
I can't argue with that part of the statement. Part of it, I said, our country is worth fighting for. But let's back it up for a second there and listen to what he says. And I need you to pay attention to this, because this is something this party has been going on about for the last few years. They do not see themselves as a part of this country. They see themselves separate. Conservatives will have your back, where every other party leader says Canadians.
Requires that we unite. Change takes time. Most of all, it requires that we never give up, because our people and our country are worth fighting for.
Do you think when he says our people, he's referring to everybody in Canada or just his Conservative Party supporters? Because, again, they tend to do this. Conservatives will support you. Not Canadians. Conservatives. They see themselves apart. They see themselves as above us. And I think that's all we really need to hear from him, to be quite honest with you. There's like 3 more minutes, and I don't want to listen to it anymore. I don't. That, and I don't want to give his particular YouTube channel any more attention than it already is getting. So I'm just going to close that there. So, yeah, we have a new boss, and some would say same as the old. Oh, I got a piece of lint on my chapeau there. Same as the old boss, except it isn't. It's a new boss who was in the position for a very short time period and is now back in that position with a mandate for the next 4 or 5 years. And we'll see what Mark Carney can do to improve the lot and life of the average Canadian. Now, Mark Carney is more of a progressive conservative than he would be a bleeding heart liberal. And I'm talking old school progressive conservative, like the kind of progressive conservative that created the CBC, built Ontario Place, created the Ontario Community College system. That kind of progressive conservative. One who actually is progressive and believes in progressive policies. One that can benefit all Canadians and lift up those of us who need it. Give you a hand up, not a handout. I am fine with that. But they also need to acknowledge the fact that there are folks in this country who do need a handout. There are folks in this country who cannot work through no fault of their own in many instances. We need to support those folks and give them a living wage. Now is time to really focus on a universal basic income. We can get rid of welfare, we can get rid of EI, we can get rid of disability. We can just go with a universal basic income for everyone. Rising tide lifts all boats. You remember when CERB first came out, somebody stated, if you give $2,000 to somebody who has lots of money, they'll just put that into an investment account and create more money off of it. If you give it to somebody who desperately needs it, they will put that money back into the economy because they need to buy food, pay their rent, pay their hydro, pay their internet, pay their phone bill, buy clothing. A UBI puts money back into the economy, and it's been proven to do so. I think now is the time when we address it. Because I'm worried my EI is going to run out soon, and I've still not been able to find a full-time job. And I don't know what I'm going to do when that happens, because the $750 or $734 that Ontario Works would pay me will not cover my rent. So, folks, we have a new boss, and he's different than the old boss. Same party, different leader, and a few different people in positions of parliament now. Let's see what happens. I know a few people expected me to come on here and gloat, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's not who I am. I'm not that person. I've never been a gloater. It's just not in my nature. I hope that those folks who lost their jobs last night are able to find gainful employment. It sucks to be unemployed. I know. I'm there right now. So let's see what happens. Let's see what the future brings. Lord knows where we'll be in a week or a month from now. I mean, the work really has to begin tomorrow. I suppose in many cases it will begin today, but as to negotiating new trade agreements, let's see what happens. How can we appreciate and grow this economy and this country by lifting up those who are well below the poverty line? What can we do to help everybody? And I sincerely want to see that. Now, there's people that will chastise me and say, well, what about those who don't deserve it? I'm like, so what, do they deserve to suffer because their lot in life didn't turn out the way yours did? Doesn't make you a very good person if you actually feel that way. I work damn hard for everything I have. Yeah, so have I. I've worked damn hard my whole goddamn life, and I've got nothing. So, you want to punch down on me? Go ahead. I don't care. I've got thick skin, and I survive. It's what I do. Okay, let's take a look at a couple other things here, and then I'll wrap it up for the day because I am a little tired. I didn't sleep well last night. It's allergy related more than anything else, and I need to share this one little tweet with you from. This is from January 27th, 2024, so over a year ago, and I think this is kind of interesting. This was so Dominic DePice tweeted this. to Bruce Fanjoy. And I'll share this with you now. This is in January 27th, 2024. 1 year ago today, I was seeking the Liberal Party nomination in Canada. Let me switch this up so you can see it there. I was seeking the Liberal Party nomination in Carleton. What a year it's been. I'm celebrating by doing one of my favorite things, meeting people in the riding. They inspire me to keep going. And this guy, Dominic DePice, says, you can't defeat Pierre. And Bruce, somebody retweeted this, and I reposted as well. He says, watch me. Which, as we know, is kind of the famous line from Pierre Trudeau during the FLQ crisis, just watch me. Bruce Fanjoy soundly defeated. I say soundly because it was a 50-46 margin. So that's it's not a landslide victory, but it is a victory. And for that, I know that the party leader now doesn't have a seat, and I wonder what will happen to Pierre Poilievre. He won't step down as leader, and that comes as no surprise. I expected that fully, that he would not step down, because that's who he is. He's a smarmy, smug narcissist who needs therapy, even more than me. And Mark Carney won his seat, by the way, for those of you who are not aware, in Nepean, the Nepean riding. I'll put this on the screen so you can see it. Basically doubled, lead of 21,000 votes. This was at 5 a.m., 5 at Mountains, so that would have been 6 a.m. this morning here in Ottawa. 44,980 for Mark Carney, 23,600 for Barbara Ball, 1,383 for Sham, I hope I say his name correctly, Sham Shukla. Hope I said that correctly. And 441 for Green Party candidate Greg Hopkins. So he won soundly in his riding. So he is now an elected member of Parliament and the leader of the Liberal Party and the Prime Minister of Canada. Good on you. Now, time for you to get to work. Time for you to express your values as you have in your book. Put them to good use. Let's do something to lift up everybody in this country, especially the most vulnerable. Housing, I know, is a huge file that he is on top of, and his housing plan does look good. And I think he's going to improve the country. Time will tell. Just wanted to give you a few seconds of Jagmeet Singh after he stepped down from his position last night, and bring that over to here.
Moment to congratulate Prime Minister Carney on his victory. He has an important job to do to represent all Canadians and to protect our country and its sovereignty from the threats of Donald Trump. Tonight and every night, all of us here, we're on Team Canada. We want Canada to thrive, and we're going to continue to fight for Canada.
And what he said was, I completely agree with. We want Canada to thrive. We'll continue to fight for Canada. That's what I want to hear. And we'll have, I'm going to give you, this is from Midas Touch, their take on Mark Carney's victory and his victory speech. It's a few minutes long, but it's worth a watch. I'll share this with you here quickly. 1 second. Bring it up on the screen. And yes, you can have a watch of this and tell me what you think, folks. Here we go.
Mark Carney leading the Liberal Party to victory in Canada's election. Moments ago, he wrapped up his victory speech, and he made it clear to Donald Trump that Canada is never going to kiss the gangster's ring. Let's watch what Prime Minister Carney said moments ago in his victory speech. Let's play it.
Humility is also about recognizing that one of the responsibilities of government is to prepare for the worst, not hope for the best. As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never ever happen. But we also must recognize the reality that our world has fundamentally changed. There is also, for me, as I stand before you this evening, humility in recognizing that, well, many have chosen to place your trust in me, trust in the Liberal Party. Millions of our fellow citizens preferred a different outcome. And my message to every Canadian is this: no matter where you live, no matter what language you speak, no matter how you voted, I will always do my best to represent everyone who calls Canada home.
And here Prime Minister Carney reiterates that any old special relationship with the United States is over. Let's play the clip.
We are once again at one of those hinge moments of history. Our old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over. The system of open global trade anchored by the United States, a system that Canada has relied on since the Second World War, a system that, while not perfect, has helped deliver prosperity for a country for decades, is over. These are tragedies, but it's also our new reality. We are over the shock of the American betrayal, but we should never forget the lessons.
But you're going to take us forward.
We have to look out for ourselves. And above all, we have to take care of each other.
In his victory speech, Prime Minister Carney said, look, when I sit down with Donald Trump, I will be sitting down as the leader of the sovereign nation of Canada, speaking to another sovereign nation. If Donald Trump wants to deal with us as equals, I'm willing to have a conversation. But if Donald Trump wants to be excluded from the world order, from the broader global trade, we are looking elsewhere. We are done with the U.S., and Canada will lead the world, not the United States. Here, play this clip.
When I sit down with President Trump, it will be to discuss the future economic and security relationship between two sovereign nations. And it will be with our full knowledge that we have many, many other options than the United States to build prosperity for all Canadians. Nous allons renforcer nos relations.
We will strengthen our relationship with reliable partners in Europe, in Asia, and elsewhere in the world. And if the US doesn't want to play a pivotal role in the world economy, we will lead, not the Americans. We are masters in our home. We'll build millions of homes. We'll become an energy superpower. We'll provide good specialized jobs and careers, and we'll create one single Canadian economy, not 13.
Because this is Canada, and we decide what happens here.
And folks, incredible developments are happening right now, even since my last video on Canada's election. It's why I wanted to be very careful in my reporting. So as of this video right now, the Liberal Party has won 167 ridings. They need 172 in order to form a majority government. Not sure they're going to be able to get there, but major developments even since our last video, and the Conservative Party has even fallen off since the last video. Speaking about falling off, Pierre Poilievre, the leader of Canada's Conservative Party, now seems like he is going to lose his own riding in Carleton. He's going to lose his own seat. I mean, a way to think about this for our American viewers. Imagine MAGA Mike Johnson losing his congressional seat, a leader of the party losing the seat. Right now, Polymarket has Pierre Poilievre with a 91% chance.
And he did lose his riding in Carleton. Thanks to Ben Mizella at the Midas Touch Network for that clip. Please don't copyright us. We'd like to work with you, sir. I think the country has chosen, and we see what happens now. Tomorrow is a new day. Today is a new day. I mean, really, if you live in the Carleton Riding, you have a new leader for the first time in 20 years, a new member of parliament for the first time in 20 years, one who I know is going to work very hard in that riding. I've met Bruce. I've shared a pint of Guinness with him. Well, he had his, I had mine. He's a good man who wants to do good for his constituency. And I feel the same thing from Mark Carney. And I don't question the fact that Pierre Poilievre wants to do good, but it's by his standards. And his standards of good may be quite a bit different from mine because some of his policies will harm people when he says there are only two genders. When we know that gender is a construct and a spectrum. There are three sexes, male, female, and intersex. You can get into that. You can debate that. You can talk about it. I don't care what you feel. Truth is truth. And when the American president stated that you are the gender you were assigned at conception, that makes every man in the United States of America and Canada trans because you're female at conception. The male hormones don't kick in for about 6 to 8 weeks. So that means every male is a trans man. It's science. Get upset if you like. I really don't care. I'm going to punch out. It's 10 after 8. I got to get ahead of a few things here today, and there are some other things we do need to discuss, but we can discuss them tomorrow. I don't know if Mr. Beaver's going to be on later today or not. He may or may not, but thanks for coming out, folks. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. And remember, if you want to help us out, you can do so by contributing either at our coffee account, and there is a, if you look up in the left hand, my right, your left, corner of the screen, there's a QR code that you can scan that'll take you to our coffee page where you can donate if you wish. Or if you want, you can go straight to, let's see, I'll put it on the screen here. It is ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, where you can donate. And in the meantime, if you want to, you can find us at our pod page, sponsored by the Ray Girl, where as soon as we have content, it is available there immediately. And I've got some audio content from yesterday to post. I just didn't get to it because I was not feeling well yesterday. I will get to it today. I promise you that. You can, like I said, if you want, you could also, if you want to help us out with costs, because it does cost money to run this, and I don't really have any right now. If you want to avoid any sort of handling fees by any other company, be it coffee or YouTube, you can just email cash directly to, email whatever amount you wish directly to truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com, and it goes directly into the corporate account where we can then disperse the funds to help cover costs and pay some bills, and the bills are piling up. So thanks for coming out, folks. I appreciate each and every one of you, even the haters. Come on out and hate watch us. I mean, it just adds to the numbers. We appreciate it. And for those of you who are watching us on Twitter, we'd love it if you would join us for the chat. Just go to youtube.com/@truenortheagerbeavermedia, and then you can find the live stream there, and you can join in the chat. And it'd be great if you could join us in the chat, because we have a wonderful group of people that join us every morning, and it is growing. And those folks are able to contribute to the chat and exchange and bounce ideas off of one another, and occasionally correct us when we make mistakes, because we do make mistakes. We're only human. We're not perfect. I'm not a robot. I'm not an AI. Or am I? I've been asked to loan my voice to AI, and if the compensation is good enough, I may just do it, but we'll see. We shall see. As long as I can continue to get compensated for it. We'll see. Oh, yes. Yes, my beloved wants to come in and say hello.
Good morning, Damn Fam. Oh, it was so nice to see a bunch of you last night. I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.
And Miss Lola, did you want to get up and say hello? There's Miss Lola. There's Miss Lola. She wanted to say hi this morning. Oh, look at that big girl. Yes, big girl with big kisses. Okay. Daddy's got some work to do, Lola. Yes. Yes, Daddy's got some work to do. We'll go out in a minute, okay? Go get your jacket. Oh! Always hits me in the same spot. Never fails. All right, folks. Thanks again for coming out. We appreciate each and every one of you. And like I said, if you want to join us in the chat, we would love it if you would. YouTube.com/@truenortheagerbeaver media. You can join us in the chat. You can subscribe there, which helps us because, we want to grow our audience and our family and increase the size and scope of the Damn Fam. People can come in here and share and bounce ideas off of one another in the chat like they do every morning. We appreciate each and every one of you. So thanks for coming out. We will see you à demain, mes amis.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. We are grateful to the Crier Media Network for its support, Pete Jarvis for our artwork, and Paul Joseph Something for our opening and closing sequence music.
Thought I'd share one little quick Easter egg because, we like to do that here. So Pierre Poilievre made history last night by being the first Conservative leader to lose their seat since Kim Campbell in 1993. And she unfairly lost her seat, largely because of the previous government. So, let that sit with you. I'll see you tomorrow. You take care. Bye.